So, welcome in all presented here again for the wonderful Wednesday evening. I don't think that I need to introduce you all myself anymore, since most of you might be knowing my name. But still, for the new participants for the evening, I am Manisha Malik from Edukos Unite of Scholars, your host again for the evening. So, let's start by a great quote. Getting better stops never. A famous quote by Lord of Cricket, Sachin Tendulkar. Logic behind the starting community is quite connected to our today's session. Communication is a mode medium through which we all are connected. Communication is a very essential part of everyone's life, and it simply explains our personality as well. So, without taking any more time, I would like to provide you the privilege to listen to our today's guest speaker, Miss Rita Gopal Krishnan, a corporate cum soft skill cum communication trainer. Ma'am, can we have you on the board, please, so that we can take a bit of your expertise on the same. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Miss Rita Gopal Krishnan.
Very good
Welcome, ma'am.
evening, everyone. Thank you so much, Manisha. You've always been a wonderful host for all of us. Thank you for that introduction. And it's always a pleasure to be here as far as I've seen, because this is a wonderful learning community where all of us get to learn so much for each other. So, as already informed to all of you, this session for the next 1 hour is going to be about goal setting, how we can set our goals, our ultimate goals in the right direction. Now, before I get into the details, how many of us want to be super successful in our life by achieving our dreams without any doubt? May I have people writing in the chat box, please? Yes. My question to you is, how many of us want to be super successful? We should not have an iota of doubt if that is going to come true or not. I know 1 hour is very short to discuss this topic in detail, but we'll do our best. If not getting into the details, for some of you who may be struggling to find out what your ultimate goal is, let's work towards that at least today. And then, yes, we'll meet many more times to come to discuss in further detail, because 1 hour is definitely too short to discuss all this. And we will see how to make that path clearer for all of you. That much is assured. So good. I hope all of you are ready for that. Okay. Now, just assume, friends, before COVID times, I'm sure all of you have been on that wonderful train journey in the Indian, service that we have. We've all been on train journeys. Where let me take an example where probably I want to be on a journey from Bangalore to Delhi, for example. Definitely, if it's something like a train journey, you would, for sure, in the Indian scenario, you would plan much in advance. You would plan that the tickets are in place. You will definitely know who is the person who's traveling with you, what class you want to travel, right? And of course, the fare and the budgeting details. You will be ready with everything. Why? Because you're also excited about that travel. The biggest reason might be that you're excited about that particular travel, which is what is driving you to put them step by step in order to achieve it. And the other reason is, imagine what would happen if you don't plan it step by step. If you don't know the date, the entire planning is going to go for a toss, and you will not reach your expected destination, which is Delhi, right? In this case. Now, if something as smaller as a train journey requires so much of planning, why is it that when it comes to something more magical, something more significant called life, that we don't need that kind of planning, right? If it's something as important for us as our own life itself, it's a clear indication that from now on, we need to plan the journey of life also step by step, so that you are sure that you will reach that destination. Having said that, let me have the permission to share my screen so that I can go ahead and take it forward by sharing my screen. Please give me a minute. Yeah, I hope it's visible. Manisha, can you just let me know?
Yes, ma'am. It's visible.
Try and make it bigger if possible. All right, looks like I'm not able to move ahead for some reason in this mode. Let me stop the sharing. Is it better now, Manisha and everyone? Are you able to hear me?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes, yes, ma'am.
So good to go, good to go. So brief introduction about me. As Manisha had already conveyed, I was more of a corporate trainer, more into the IT side for more than 15 years. But out of my own passion for trainings, I decided to become a communication trainer and a soft skills trainer. My area and niche is definitely communication, but along with that, I also was highly interested in being able to enhance people's skills in terms of their soft skills in order to help struggling corporate professionals become a much better version of themselves. And that is what led me to this journey, to be able to discuss these important things with all of you, so that all of us as educators and teachers can help people mold these life skills to become much happier people in their life by incorporating all these things. And that is why today I decided to pick goal setting, which is also so important, irrespective of the age, irrespective of the gender, irrespective of our passions, right? It is an important step. So without much details into my introduction, because I'm more concerned about how we can take your journey forward now. Now, if you look at this, it says, I would like to ask you a question, my friends. Have you ever had a situation where in the weekend, after you finish your hard job from Monday to Friday, suddenly you feel that there's so much of work there with a huge pile of work you're sitting there and not knowing how to complete? I think all of us would have gone through that, right? So much of work to do, and you have been struggling till Friday, and still there's so much to do even on Sunday evening. But the good news is, my friends, if you start planning it with a particular process in place, you will definitely be successful in finishing that on time. Let us see how. And just like you do want to achieve world class things for a lot of other areas, let us be world class in the planning activities as well. And as I said, this will also help you understand what exactly you want in your life. It will help you work towards that direction. Now, what is the difference between a goal and a dream? Now, we are talking about dreams and we are also talking about goals. The biggest difference is that a goal is a very high intensive objective that you have in your mind, but with a deadline. You need to have a proper deadline in place that by this time, by so and so month, and be more specific about the date, by so and so date, I want to complete this particular goal and achieve it no matter what. So isn't it nice if we provide a roadmap? It's like a roadmap, as I said. You clearly know which step to take next, which step to take next, so that you reach that end goal properly on time. And as I said, look at it as a sweet reward at the end of it. Forget the goal right now. I would say start enjoying the journey, because that's exactly where we are going wrong. In this rat race, in this hardcore competition of trying to compete with each other, we are focusing so much and getting stressed about the end result that we are forgetting to enjoy the journey in the process. So the whole purpose of setting goals is not, I'm not going to dwell much about the achievement part here. It's about doing those baby steps in that direction so that you enjoy every little small chunk that you charted out on the way. And the good news, my friends, if you're feeling overwhelmed at any cost, the good news is that 95% of the people really do not set specific goals. So that's a huge number that shows that we are not alone in the journey, right? Nearly 97% of the people do not set specific goals. So that's what I'm putting out here. Just to be specific again, it's a dream, but it is measurable. It has a time limit. It's within your control. And remember the most important thing, my friends, it has to be in writing. It's when I say it's a goal, it's not something that you just tell me and forget it after 2 days. It has to be crystal clear in writing, because there's a magic having it down on the paper. The moment you write that ultimate goal on the paper, the senses carry it to the brain and leave it in your subconscious mind, and you constantly get reminded, yes, this is what I'm working towards, because this is what is going to be making me happy. It's for your inner peace more than anything else, right? And it has to be measurable. Why do I say measurable? Because only then you will get to know your progress, right? If I ask you after 2 months, where have you reached? Unless you evaluate where you have reached, you will never be able to tell yourself, leave telling others, you'll never be able to tell yourself where you have reached in that destination. That's exactly what we mean by goal here. So I have an important case study here by one of the best universities, Harvard Business School here, right? It says, see, 3% of the people who graduated earned 10 times as much as the remaining 97%. Just look at that, my friends. See, when they joined the Harvard University, I'm sure everybody joined there because they had the same level of intelligence. They would have gone through competitive examinations and joined there. But this study is after maybe they finished 10 years of their curriculum and passed out. This was a real-time business case where they did a study to find out. And look at the number, my friends. 3% of the people, it's not a small thing. They earn 10 times more than their counterparts, their classmates, when they checked after 10 years. And what is the secret? The only secret was that this 3% wrote very clear written goals about what they wanted out of their life. Okay? So that's why I have mentioned here, an unwritten want is just a wish. It may not happen. How are you confident that it will happen? But the day you put it in writing, that's the day. You're committing to yourself, my friends. You're not committing to anybody else. You're promising yourself. You're reminding yourself that this is what is going to be making me happy, and this is exactly what I want to achieve. All right? So let me just give it a briefing before, just to check in if all of you are around. Manisha, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'm continuing from there. So now,
Yes.
this is a beautiful definition of success, my friends. I hope some of you have heard it. It is very powerful. It's by Mr. Earl Nightingale, which is called The Strangest Secret. And I think this is probably the most practical definition we can see about success. It is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. Now look at that, how beautiful it is. Does it stress about what you're going to achieve later? No. It's just saying it's a state of mind. Success is a state of mind. If we are able to wake up in the morning happily, ready to go ahead and do the work that we love, it will definitely not seem like big work at all, right? So that's what he's saying. Do those baby steps. And it has to be a worthy ideal. Now take the case of burglary or dacoits. Now, or terrorists, if I may say. They have a particular motive in mind, which might be the motive of revenge, right? It might be the motive of hatred. Now, for them, being able to succeed in that might be success. But I don't think that's the right way to say that, to call it a success, right? For them, just achieving and doing something nasty might be an idea of success. But the true definition would be the goal also has to be worthy so that it touches and changes people's life. You have to be of service to the people around, which is the whole motto of living, by the way. So it has to be a progressive realization. And look at this as well. If a person is working for a predetermined goal and he knows where he's going, that is sufficient. See, now it doesn't definitely mean that, if a person is an engineer, he has to be working in the best of corporates. He has to become, right from the junior position, he has to move on to getting promotion and become a senior and then a leader and then become the CEO of the company. Yes, these are some conventional promotional things for an engineer. But it's not necessary that you and me are the same, right? For example, I'm an electrical engineer by graduation, but Manisha may be graduation in something else. And each one of us has our own passions, right? We cannot compare different persons' interests, and her idea of success must be totally different from mine. Now, let me also take the example of one of my classmates who passed out of engineering, right? Now, considering that she had great academic background, she also scored good marks, by the way, compared to many of our classmates who had to struggle harder and work harder. She was a natural who used to pick up things faster. In spite of that, imagine when we asked her 18 years back, she never said that she wants to get into the best of corporate world. for her, her idea of success was different. She said, in spite, I do not know how I landed up here, but for me, my dream is definitely to start just a nice little preschool for the tiny tots. And of course, to have a quality life and a great family thereafter. So probably get married and have kids. And then also have a preschool was her prime ultimate goal. She said this like a casual thing among friends 18 years back. But the good news is, after 20 years, this is exactly what she's doing now. And she's able to have a great work-life balance with her family. She's able to spend quality time with them. So it's not necessary that we are setting hardcore, corporate goals. I'm not talking about that. It is just about what is your mission in life which makes you happy. That's about it. If the person knows where he is going and is he going in that direction, that is good enough to make you feel successful. So that's what I've mentioned here. Just knowing that you have progressed in that direction is good enough. Now, let me also give you one more case study that I have here. It's a comparison between Group A and Group B, my friends. Group A and Group B. Now, this is a business case again, where on the left side, you have some mathematical professors, all right? They were great business connections, obviously, because they are from the best of universities. They had Harvard experience again. They had a dream team having the best of talent in terms of engineering. And hence, it was easy for them to get grants from the government. And have any of you heard people like Andrew Carnegie, right? He was probably one of the richest businessmen once upon a time, several years back, by the way, and Graham Bell as well. They were the contacts that they had, high profile media publicity, but they had logical thinking. Why I say that is because they are hardcore people who are inclined to just the academic knowledge that they have, right? So their thinking was a little limited, and also probably they were not having a proper why. They were great scientists, but they really did not have the why in life. What is it that they are inspired to achieve as a team? That mission was not clear. Whereas on the right side, there's another group which was just running a bicycle shop. None of them had an advanced degree, just two people, all right? I'm talking about two important people here. No high-level connections, no media publicity, because they come from a very poor background. And as I said, no academics. In spite of that, what differentiated them from Group A was that they had a clear motto in life. No matter what our thinking level is, no matter what our academics is, we will make sure that both of us will ensure that we have a heavy object flying in the sky. Any guesses there? Easy there, right? None other than the Wright brothers who invented the aeroplane. The difference is that it is not the background. It is just that their thinking was limitless. They were just ingrained with infinite intelligence. It's beyond the subconscious level. So my whole point here is, even with age, let us not think that our knowledge is limited and our ability to expand our mind is limited. No. We have to expand it because there is no end to the human potential at all. There is so much we can expand it to and beyond limits that we can imagine. And they clearly knew they had a purpose in life, that they have to make a heavy object fly. It was a burning desire. And other favorite case studies of mine that I always like to put forward is what I presented here. Of course, like we discussed last time, Japan, because of its quality standards, there's a wonderful case study where, the IBM American counterpart, they gave them a major requirement where they gave a very clear-cut contract that, listen, we are giving you a contract where you have to come up with very perfect working machinery parts, and out of 10,000 parts, we will not accept more than 3 defective pieces. Imagine how difficult that might be. Out of 10,000 parts, you have to come back. We cannot accept it if you come back with more than 3 defective pieces. And Japanese standards, as you would have heard already, they give so much of importance to the perfection in terms of quality that they literally got back by sending and couriering them 3 defective pieces. Now, that was not the motto. They just said that's a maximum. We just can't expect more than that. We won't accept. But these people came back brilliantly in such a way that they did manufacture the perfect parts working, yet with 3 defective parts packed separately and sent. So do you see the level of detailing that is going in there with the power of purpose? That is what we can aim towards. And then, needless to say, all of you would have thought, we never thought of the OYO rooms, right, which are more economical compared to the star rooms once upon a time. Unless this humble person in Ritesh Agarwal, who is again famous for OYO rooms, for being so innovative in spite of his humble backgrounds, right? He's the one who brought the concept that even the common man can think of living in great rooms when he comes for his, office accommodations or training accommodations. Nobody ever thought that even the common man could lay hold into such beautiful rooms at an economical cost. And Nokia, as I said in one of our talks last time, since they were not able to adapt to the agile methodology, they could not really keep up with the phone and mobile technology. And what are the benefits we can expect? The benefits of goal setting is that it's a visual reminder. So you're going to write it down. I'm just giving an example with practically having a goal card, which we'll discuss about in a while. See, it's constantly reminding you. You constantly feel motivated that, yes, this is what I'm waking up for. This is exactly what I want to do today. I want to ensure that I get that award in the next 6 months, and I'm raving to go today morning and get up and work in that direction. It's a vision board. Do anything that you want. You can have pictures, you can have images, but you also need a clear statement in writing that this is what I'm going to achieve. And it boosts the self-esteem, obviously, because there are times when we will fail. It's not going to be easy. The road is not going to be easy. There will be a lot of loopholes that you will find in the process. There will be a lot of rocks that you will find on the way, but we will start getting the confidence to face them once you face failures as well in the process, because you don't have to face success all the time. Definitely you will face failures on the way, but you will get up and move on from there as well. And that is how it improves your performance, because you're never stopping your journey there. You're just continuing step by step. And this story, though I'm not too sure of the authenticity of the story, it's an interesting one about Jamshedji Tata. About the famous Taj Palace Hotel, which is a landmark, the trademark in Mumbai city. Accordingly, it's a story that he was not able to, get into a famous hotel called the Watson's Hotel, simply because it was restricted only for the whites at that point of time. And that obviously hurt him a lot, that there's a differentiation being shown, right? That he was not in a position where he could enter that hotel for whatever reasons. And that is what gave him the motto, the motive, that every common man should be able to get into the hotel, which is as grand as that. And that led to the formation of this hotel. So what I'm trying to tell here is, it is not just writing, but it is the intensity of the emotion and the energy that goes into that goal. How badly you want to achieve it. That is what is going to decide, not just writing. How badly I want to get it in the next 3 months, next 6 months. That intensity and energy is what is going to drive you from there. And some important aspects of goal setting: you have to own the goal. What I mean by that is, it is your goal, my friends. Yes, we can take help from our parents. We will take help from our peers, our teachers, whom we respect a lot, educators. Yes, we will take a lot of guidance. But when it comes to writing your goal, it should be like the chocolate that you had as a child. You have to be very possessive about it, because at the end of it, you will be happy only if you get your favorite chocolate, right? It's going to be a possessive game there. Only for your goal, you're going to be possessive. You will take the good things from people, analyze what you are good at, what you want to do in life, and own and control that goal. I would request, let us not get influenced by other friends' goals, other peers' goals, because every person is unique and different. So the more you analyze your strengths, the better it is for our long-term happiness and inner joy. And setting the time frame, as I said, which we'll continue to talk about today. And again, needless to say, Dr. Abdul Kalam, who says that this dream that you have should be so motivating that it will not even allow you to sleep, right? That's exactly what we've read many times as well in the Wings of Fire. And how do you choose your goal? For those of us, we keep listening to sessions like this. We get motivated for a while and then we might forget about it again, right? But how do we know what is our goal? Because I know that many people, after reading so much or listening so much also, they say, I'm not really sure of what is my goal in life, right? So obviously, you will have to do a lot of self-analysis. Take your own good time in the morning hours or whatever is your best productive time in the day that you like. Sit down. You have to do a self-analysis of what is your talent, what are the skills that you are good at, and more importantly, which is the best field in which I can serve the people around me. At the end of it, I think any work is just a service or a product that you're selling. You're selling your ideas to people, right? And what is the idea that I can give best to the community around me? Because our whole life is around, serving or helping the people around. You could be a doctor, you're definitely helping in the form of healthcare services. If you're an engineer, you're helping in terms of the world-class amenities and that you're building for the people in terms of roads, right? So everything is a service. But think well about what are your specific talents that you can use to help the people around you. If you're a salesperson, again, you have to sell your service so that you can sell the product you believe in the most. You have to be authentic as well. So look at the beauty of this thing that I've put up here, my friends. It's very powerful. You would not have had the dream in the first place if you did not already have what it takes to make it happen. Just look at that. Don't you agree that most of you get dreams only about things that you know it's there within you? You know you're there, just that you have to do a lot of difficult steps to reach the top of the ladder. Why is it that you're getting dream? Suppose you're extremely good in cricket. You're extremely good, you know that. Definitely, I'm sure during your school and college phase, you would have got a lot of dreams just about the way you win that match, right? And the reason is inside you, you know that you have that talent, but maybe you're not practicing enough to be able to get there. So this is beautiful to remember, my friends. You will never even have the dream if you did not know that you have that particular talent inside you. And you will get the related dreams only where you know you are good at. That will help you write that goal, which is going to work well for you. Here I have put, in spite of all this, why people do not set goals. These are the reasons that I could think of. I'll just bring it up again. Sorry. First of all, the process. People are not too sure how to do them, right? And then lack of belief in oneself. This is a very important point, my friends. Often human beings, we have a tendency, we often get demotivated, and we are also not having that self-belief that, yes, if I try hard, if I practice harder, surely I can reach that level which I want to one day. Often there are failures which take us backwards, right? And one example again that I remember is Roger Bannister, which I've put up here. And there was a time around in the 1950s where it was believed that human beings do not have the stamina to run more than 4.5 kilometers in a minute. There was a feeling or a belief that was there that we can never cross that speed. But this person, he was so self-determined about this particular skill that he had that rather he started working on what is it that I have to do to achieve this. And instead of concentrating on the leg exercises or the strength-based muscle exercises for the feet, it is said that he started working towards exercises for the heart. Because supposedly the heart, we cannot breathe well and the heart stops functioning if we tend to break this break point. So he started working towards the weakness. What is stopping us from doing that? And supposedly he achieved that goal. And once that was achieved, everybody got the belief, yes, this was just a doubt that we had. Now we can do it. And there were nearly 2,000 people who followed him to break that record again, which means they were all there with him to be able to achieve that record. So that is the power of self-belief. It will automatically give us various ways through which we can achieve that in the right direction. Setting the wrong goals, very common reason, because as I said, it is mainly because of the influence from the society, the environment we are in. So we have to take extra care that at the end of it, you're possessive about what you like the best. And yes, as I said, on the way, you tried too hard. Your goal was also right. Imagine your goal was also right. But in the process, you had a major exam where you failed. In the exam of your goal, I'm telling. You failed miserably and you lost the confidence for 6 months. That you took a break, probably. That you do not have the confidence to move on. Let that not stop you, is what I'm telling you. So these are pretty much the reasons why we don't set them at all. And it says, I want it now. Yes, we are in an age of information overload nowadays, right? We are in a great era, my friends. We are lucky that we have so much of information flowing around us. At the click of a mouse, we can get all the information that we need. So that way we are lucky. But the problem is now everything is instant. We are in a world of instant gratification. If you want food, it comes to your place. Even in Corona times, right? If you want the best of gadgets, you can order it from Amazon. So everything is at the click of a button, because of which you're in a hurry to get instant pleasure, instant gratification, and forgetting about the long-term goals. Okay? Now I'm going to mention about why these goals are important, because I think many of my trainees often ask, ma'am, how is it that we can break procrastination, right? Because procrastination is one of the biggest issues where people are facing when they're working from home for 8 hours, 12 hours. Even the software engineers say they are tired of working for so long from home, and they feel that they're procrastinating a lot. Now, if you set your goal again, it will help you definitely, at least improve on your procrastination aspect. And what exactly is procrastination? It's not really the laziness. Laziness is about being lazy in general for everything, right? Procrastination is about deferring those important tasks. Imagine being a trainer. I have 10 tasks to be done before next month, but it's a human tendency that I will pick only the easy ones first, right? It's human tendency. All of us do it. Say out of 10 ones, I know that if I finish the 3 easy ones, I'll feel happier. So I'll end up doing those 3 trainings, maybe the easy trainings or the easy things which I can finish faster, rather than picking up the most important task lying ahead of me. And that is where we make the mistake. So procrastination is about deferring or delaying the most important things, the ones which will create the highest impact for you and make your distance to your goal shorter. But if we set this clearly, we will understand that you have to pick those 2 important tasks first. So that is why goals are important. They give you a laser focus. Imagine a magnifying lens. If I put the rays of the sun, I was just reading a story out to my child yesterday where the rays of the sun, if magnified, they're so powerful that they were roasting the ants that were there. That is the power of the radiation of the sun when using a magnifying glass. Coincidentally, I have one here. So there is no limit to the human potential. The mind power, there is no limit to it. And if we can focus, have a laser focus on those 2 important goals and clear them, the journey will become much faster and we will start tasting success. And when we taste success, obviously it molds us and makes it easier for us. And now, any guesses who this person is? Now, just to quote, I will tell you, he's none other than Mahatma Gandhi. And I don't think none of these great leaders had the most intellectual skills, right? We can't say that he was the most intelligent person. They were also ordinary human beings. But he had a vision in life. See, vision is something above the goals also. Vision is like a long-term life vision, where he knew that he wanted to get independence for the people in India. That was his only vision. But in order to achieve that, he made several goals, maybe in terms of Satyagraha, maybe in terms of the Dandi March. There were several tools and goals that he achieved one by one in the process of being able to reach that vision, right? So it just helps any ordinary person also reach extraordinary levels only with the intensity of the desire that you have to achieve that. And the good news is that it also helps you decrease your unhealthy habits. Now, let us not say that unhealthy habit is just addictive habits which are not good. When we talk about drug addiction, we talk of only addictions as bad habits, right? But I don't think that's the case. Everything in moderation is okay. That is not what unhealthy habit is about. Unhealthy could be anything. Like, I know that I have an important 2-day workshop to do tomorrow. It wouldn't be right of me to wake up being a late waking up person at 11 o'clock every day, right? That's not going to serve my purpose. So anything as simple as not waking up at all on time every single day, not taking care of a person's well-being in order to be able to stand for a good 10 hours every day, all those will be what we call as unhealthy bad habits, right? It helps you to overcome all of those with these so-called goal technique. And just to help you on understanding what types of goals you should be setting, there are short-term goals, long-term goals, and immediate goals, just for you to understand. So just to help you, because these are things when you tell people, you also have to do them, live them, right? So yes, what you can do to start off with is to have two goal cards. One could be a short term where you will write exactly what you plan to achieve in the next. Short term would be something like 3 months is a good time. 3 months is a good time for you to evaluate and check whether you have been able to achieve it. And if it's a long term goal, as the name suggests, it could be anywhere between the next 1.5 years, 2 years. But please write that. We'll get into those details where you know that this is exactly what I'm going to achieve in the next 2 years. That's the only difference. The time duration is the only difference. But it makes sense to have two different goal cards, to have one short term and one long term.
I want to talk a little bit about goals on the line of how do you lose 37 pounds and write a book. I'm just going to kind of give you that as an example. For 24 years of my adult life, by choice, I weighed well over 200 pounds. I say by choice because, you see, I have never accidentally eaten anything. I mean, it's always been deliberate. And when I choose to eat too much today, I have chosen to weigh too much tomorrow. You can choose to set goals and realize your potential, or you can choose not to set them. Now, if you choose not to set them, you got to understand that the consequences are not going to be good down the road. For 24 years, I was going to lose that weight. As a matter of fact, in 24 years, I lost several thousand pounds of weight. How many of you already know exactly what I'm talking about? But it wasn't until I wrote it down, put a date on it, listed the obstacles I had to overcome, identified the people, the groups, the organizations I needed to work with, spelled out a plan of action, set that time limit in there, and identified all of the benefits to me. It was only when I did that the goal became a reality, and I lost the weight. For 10 or 15 years, I was going to write a book. You know anybody who's going to do just a whole lot of things, folks? I was going to write a book. But it wasn't until I got busy writing the book and writing the plans first before the book ever materialized. Now, if it sounds like I'm trying to sell you on having goals, how many of you are getting close already? How many of you are becoming convinced right quick like that you need to have those goals? There's no question about it. The immortal J.C. Penney many, many years ago said, give me a stock clerk with a goal, and I'll give you a man who will make history. But give me a man without a goal, and I'll give you a stock clerk.
So do you see the power of that, my friends? Zig Ziglar, one of the most popular sales, leadership personals that we've had. And he is a clear-cut example of how he exactly described by writing it in words, how he's been able to achieve by losing so many pounds of weight. And I'm sure that is going to be a favorite topic for most people who constantly try to lose weight, right? I mean, this is definitely popular on everyone's agenda in many people's, and this is a clear-cut example. Now, the good news about goal setting is also that you can start small. Now, let me remind you, my friends, nowadays in this new generation, going slow is more fashionable. I keep stressing going slow is more classy now. It's more fashionable. Let's start taking small baby steps. Because it's been proven that even if you achieve, 1%, suppose you want to be as I have mentioned the example of a guitarist here, but for those of you who are interested in singing, maybe you're so caught up in your work life nowadays, in your teaching profession, as educators, as professors, you're so busy that your long-term passion of being a classical singer never worked out. But then you have to give importance to that aspect in life as well, right? So start writing that goal, that you are being a guitarist very soon, but then you have to take steps in that direction now. Why don't you start small by just taking 1 hour's class in the weekend? That's good enough. We don't have to make leaps and bounds is what I'm trying to tell you. Start small by joining classes in the weekend. And that will give you the base of it. You will start feeling good that finally, even at this age, I've started taking those classes, and slowly you can listen to more music of your choice, you can get trained more so that you can actually get into forums where you can practice it more, start getting that confidence in your local communities. And finally, maybe after 6 months or 1 year, you can feel confident so that you can join your advanced courses as well, right? Just an example from your personal life with respect to your personal goal is an example that I've set up here for all of you. All right? So please work towards, when I talk about goals, don't look at it only from the career perspective, as I told you. It's also about your personal goals that keep you happy as well. Right? Just give me a moment. All right. Now, goals differ from company to company. Now, there's a slight difference when we talk about personal goals, and you also keep hearing about the organizational goals, right? Now, organizational goals for them, they usually have a mission statement. The mission statement will just clearly say why they started the company in the first place. Any company or organization starts its business with a particular mission in mind, and they usually write it in positive mission statement so that anybody who joins that company knows it. But as students, as college students who join, think the case of engineering graduates again who get freshly recruited into companies, right? They are too young to understand something like a mission statement. In fact, they don't even know. What they have in their mind is, now, I don't have great marks, I'm not equipped enough, I don't have great communication skills, I'm not confident, let me just join any company that I get recruited to. Yes, practically, realistically, it makes sense because at the end of it, they need their first job. Understood, fair enough. But the danger there is that in the long run, they may not be happy because their individual goals are not well aligned with the goals of that company, which, we get to understand only once you have experience, once you're into this field for 5 years. That's when you probably realize that, no, my goals and vision in life is totally misaligned with whatever is happening in my company right now. And that is why people tend to, move from companies to companies swiftly. So I've mentioned here that universities and schools, they seek to discover and transmit knowledge. Take the case of Edukos Unite of Scholars, classic example. What is the vision they have is definitely to have educators from different platforms share their knowledge with each other, right? Their mission is something different. So if we as members feel aligned with that, we will feel like going step by step in that direction. And yes, it's going to keep us happy in terms of our career as well, right? So now, most important, I'm sure many of you would have probably heard of it during goal setting sessions, SMART goals. S being specific, which means you cannot write random. I know people have thoughts like, I want to be rich, I want to earn a lot of money, I want to buy the best car, maybe a Rolls Royce, right? Who wants it? A Rolls Royce here. Or maybe a Ferrari. Why not? Dream big. But that is a dream that has to be achieved long time, maybe after 5 years. Well, I apologize if some of you have it already, but I'm just telling it from a common man's perspective. That could be a long-term vision that he has, right? But for the next 2 years, let's be more realistic. With your current job position, with your current finances, considering the COVID scenario in mind, considering your family, in the current present situation, what is it that I can achieve? So you have to be crystal clear in terms of the exact thing that you will achieve. We'll see some examples in the next slide. And as I said, it should be measurable. You should say, is it within 2 months? Is it within August 31st of this year when I'm going to achieve it? And how do I know that I achieved it? Action-oriented. People either call it action-oriented or attainable. So we should not set very small goals which are easy. Attainable and realistic does not mean you have to put easy goals. See, easy goals anybody can achieve. We will feel happy. As I said, it will give us instant pleasure. But it's not going to keep you satisfied for a longer term. You have to keep something which pulls you out of your comfort zone. You have to stretch beyond your comfort zone so that you know that it's a challenge for me. If I achieve that by August 31st, I'm going to be happy. Not anything else. Leave anything else. Not the awards. It's not the certifications. It's not the exam results. I'm going to be happy if I achieve that by 31st. Your personal goals. Think of your personal goals. So that is what I mean by attainable and realistic. Don't set it too small. Not easy goals. Don't set it so diverse like a Rolls Royce so that, you have to be realistic. Keep something which keeps you happy when you achieve that. And time-based. Let me give examples. Specific. Again, I think since I took weight loss because it's a common thing that many of course, there are exceptions, but for those of you who usually like to reduce weight, I will lose 3 kilos. You have to be specific. in 1.5 months and become more healthy. So you have to be exactly specific in terms of the quantity. See, just like managers love numbers in the corporates, even life, our mind loves numbers. Mind understands and accepts numbers better. So you have to go to the extent of writing the exact amount. If it's a financial goal, you can write the exact amount. If it is maybe just a hypothetical example, 2 lakhs per month, 3 lakhs per month, whatever is it, shamelessly write it down. Shamelessly write it down. If it's a business, a couple of crores per year for long term. Shamelessly write out whatever is it that you have in mind, the golden number that I will achieve by so and so date. And that is why I give another example for measurable. Imagine you're not good at book reading. I'm assuming most of you are good readers because all of you are academicians here. But say there are students who are not very good. They don't have the reading habit. It's going to be tough on them if I ask them to read books of a particular genre and start at one fine day, right? But if I get them to have specific goals, that by September, I will complete at least 3 short books. Possible? Yes, it's definitely possible. And attainable. Now, all of us, I'm sure, spend a lot of time on social media, which is, I'm sure it is one of the biggest distractions for all of us. I think at least 90% of us here, because of course it gives us information, but we also get distracted from our main purpose that we want to work towards the day. So maybe we can give ourselves a small goal that I will limit myself to, if you're too much into social media, maybe 2 hours a day for the time being. I will limit the usage of social media to 2 hours a day on working days. Good enough? So let's start small, something that you can achieve. And the beauty is that once you start doing it for 30 days, imagine you failed, you didn't succeed, repeat that same process for the next 30 days. Slowly it will develop into a habit. That's what I meant here. The next one is identity creation. Now, there's a beautiful concept called cognitive dissonance, my friends. See, the mind is very fertile. Our human mind is so powerful and it's so fertile. Imagine a fertile land. You know very well that a farmer, whatever kind of plant he puts into it, it could be a poisonous plant, it could be a very good, healthy plant that gives the yield. No matter what he puts into that yield, surely it's going to multiply, assuming all positive circumstances, surely it's going to give him multifold in abundance, right? If he does, considering great environment and circumstances. The mind is more fertile than that. The mind is definitely more fertile. If we give it those positive thoughts with intensity and energy, it is going to multiply and bring those circumstances. I'm sure all of you have heard the law of attraction, but there is a true realism in that. The more you feed positive thoughts into it and think about your dream daily through these goal setting, you're pretty much sure that it is going to definitely happen very soon. So here what I meant is your image right now, the person you're right now may be very different from the person you're dreaming to be. You know, that person, the role model is whom you have in mind, and you want to be that kind of person after 5 years. But your life attracts only what you are right now, my friends. And that is why it's important for you to break the limitations, start behaving like that person, literally, maybe dress like that person. Imagine you want to grow from a normal team member to a leader in your team. You want to get the promotion in your team if you're working in the corporate. Start dressing like them, start behaving like them. Observe the body language and maybe the tone and the actual words and terminology used by your manager if he's your role model. You can start implementing in the way you live life. And that's important. And that's what I meant by cognitive dissonance here. Again, do your writing. Write down exactly what person you want to become. Write the kind of parent you want to be. As I said, if it's more about being a great parent for 2 kids that gives you happiness, write down exactly what you want to do as a role model in being able to do good parenting. The kind of professional you want to be. Everything has to be crystal clear and detailed in writing. And yes, it's also important, since we've been talking more about the career side and some personal goals, let us not assume that they are the only aspects, because that is the biggest mistake again, my friends. We think that life is we tend to give more importance, definitely around 70% more often, to our career goals and maybe our family, definitely our family and relationship goals. But the truth is that we have to cover all these aspects with equal enthusiasm and energy to feel more successful in life. The personal goals, which is more about your well being, your career goals, your financial goals. See, what is the kind of lifestyle that you want to give your kids? What kind of vehicle you want to travel in? Be limitless. As I said, do not be ashamed about the limit you want to set in your mind. It's perfectly okay. It's your dream, right? So you don't have to reduce that amount that you want to write. It can be what kind of traveling I want to do in the next 10 years with the money that I accumulate. What are the countries that I want to visit if I'm a great traveler with my kids and family, with my spouse? What are the places I want to visit? That forms your relationship goals. Spiritual goals, and through meditation, through journaling in the morning, whatever is it that peps you up to start your activities for the day. Pleasure goals, important, beautiful. We talked about micro adventures last time for kids, right? Whatever passions or hobbies that they want to put themselves into, art, language, music, maybe marathon after COVID times, going again back to your trekking, marathon, bungee jumping. These are the areas we are sometimes forgetting or neglecting because of shortage of time in this rat race. And we have to get back to those. And social life contribution goals. I think, though we don't talk much about this, one of the most important. It could be something as simple as, since all of us are trainers and educators, something as simple as not just our regular classes, but the idea of going to an NGO, maybe to take free classes for students. So because everybody, I'm sure they would invite people like us to be able to give that knowledge to the tiny tots, right? So something where you're not expecting anything from them and you have to give away freely to them, happily, because the more you give, the more you get, definitely. So contribution goals is definitely important in making us feel really happy and get that inner joy. And yes, just as a joke, it says you will obviously not want to expand your family if you cannot afford it financially. It was just a joke to tell you that each of these life aspects and goals are highly related to one another. See, obviously, only if you have enough luxury and money, you'll be able to travel and meet your social goal, adventure goals, right? You'll be able to travel and show your kids the kind of places they want to travel or the place you want them to experience. So all these are highly interrelated is what I was trying to tell here. And some other important rules to set when you set goals. This is one mistake that we do. What we do is we set the short-term goals very clearly because we are happy. We know that if I do this, if I maybe study for this exam and finish this exam, I can clear the entrance and I can get the subject of my choice. I'm talking about students. That keeps them happy. So what happens is people are more concerned about their short-term goals and they underestimate what they can achieve in the next 2 years. That is a mistake. Take the case of a business, as I said. Maybe they're working towards a turnover of 100 crores, but what they do is that might be for the next 6 months, and then for the next 2 years, they will just plan something just a little off that, maybe just 120 crores, because they always happen to overestimate the short term. They are more interested in what they can achieve faster somehow, and then forget about the dramatic potential that they have to achieve the long-term goals. So let's not forget that. Let's remember that just keep working on these baby steps and the journey will take you through, and let's not bother about when or where we have to reach the destination. Okay? And successful people also take decisions promptly. That's also more important. Rather than getting confused about, take the case of our important, politicians as well, who actually are action-oriented. For those of your favorite ones, who you feel are action-oriented, obviously you're in awe of whoever is your favorite because you feel they're instant decision makers, right? Who are able to take the right decisions. And then the good thing is, once they take it, they don't keep wavering from one to the other. They stick on to it for some time. And only if they feel that it's not working at all, then they move on. Now, one other important thing that I want to stress, my friends, when you write this goal is also, it has to be in present tense. So in my case, if I have written just an example, I would literally have to say that I'm doing trainings that I love doing, which will touch the lives of 1 lakh people through my trainings and give enough time, quality time to my family members as well. And I've also written exactly what I'm earning right now. When I say earn, this is probably the dream number that I have, but I will write it as if it is already achieved. I earn so much. It has to be highly positive. Please remember, it should not be in the past, it should not be in the future. It has to be in present tense with a specific date as well, that I will achieve it by so and so date. And carry it with you at all times. Read it aloud whenever you want in between your busy work through the day. Read it in the morning, afternoon, whenever you can. There's no limit. It's left to you. The more you read, the more it gets ingrained, as I said, into your subconscious mind, and you'll be constantly motivated to wake up and work towards the small little things that will help you achieve that, for sure, without doubt. So that's why I've written here, write it in present tense. And on the back, if you've all heard of visualization tools, right? You've heard of the vision board. Have any image, related to your goal, which you keep seeing daily, which will again motivate you and remind you that this is what, maybe, as I said, the person you want to be, right? You can keep the picture of somebody whom you really look up to and want to be in terms of the style or the character. So, and think big, my friends. And I also want to remind you, though we talk of the SMART concept, right? I personally feel SMART concept works well for the corporates. Please remove the A and the R aside for your personal goals. My friend, that's my personal feeling. Just S, M, and T. Specific, measurable, and time-bound. What I'm saying is, if you keep attainable and realistic, it will become like that group A people, with limited thinking. You will use only your academic knowledge. You will use only what you know. You will not go out of the box and think of, multiplying your imagination to increase your creativity. You will not go beyond the box. So I would say for your personal goals, keep the realistic and attainable aside. Go beyond your limit, because there's nothing that the human mind cannot achieve. And write whatever is that big dream that you have. Think big, break it into small chunks, and then see how you work step by step in that direction. And yes, involve in deep learning as well. Nowadays, we have this mistake of, finding ourselves in the blue ocean. Sorry, I meant the red ocean, because there what happens is we have so many people all together fighting for the limelight, right? So many people fighting for the limelight because we don't have in-depth knowledge about something. We superficially try to gain knowledge, and then the discussions lead to a lot of competition between each other. Rather than that, it's very important to focus on one area that you feel your true strengths are. Pick up a main area of your expertise. But from that main area, try to find one small niche that you're particularly good at. That you know that if you learn from the best mentors in the world, if you learn from the best people in your country, you know that you will become world class. Think of that area, because yes, we are all aiming towards world class. So what is that trait that God has gifted you, and you know the power you have within you? If I follow my mentors, learn from the best of people, and work towards that niche, I know I'll be the best in the world on that particular niche. So it's very important that you do deep learning rather than focusing on several things, and then it will become like the jack of all trades and master of none. Okay? And fail and get up, fail and get up. The best example, again, Michael Jordan, the national basketball games that happened, right? And people look at him as such a big success in terms of the awards that he achieved. But what he says is that while he was practicing, he lost and missed at least 9,000 shots. Now, that's a huge number. But what he feels is that people are not understanding that he has failed so much and practiced so much in order to be able to achieve what he has. So yes, we will keep facing obstacles, we will keep failing, but we will pick up from there and build positive, good habits. And how do we build good habits? Do it small, as I said, one step at a time. Repeat it for 30 days. If you feel it's not working, take a break, take a breather. But get back, because now you have your gold card to drive you. Start repeating those baby habits once again, and slowly it will become a way of life for you. And this is some templates. You can definitely get in touch with me if you're interested to know, because as I said, 1 hour is too short to be able to describe these things in detail. It needs a good couple of hours. But if you want, you can feel free to connect with me. These are some templates that are put here which will help you, because it's not only about your main goal card, it's also about the idea of journaling, where you have a journal, a goal book, where you write in detail about those 7 goals that I told you about. Starting with your personal goal, which I said is about your health, your well-being, your physique, your weight issues, whatever is personal to you. What is your role? What is your goal? And what is your hurdle? So let me take an example of role 1. What I mean by role 1 in personal life is, maybe give the example of a lady who is a homemaker role of a mother. Now, she's a mother to 2 kids. That is her first role. What is her goal? Her goal might be, considering though she's a homemaker, assume that because of COVID scenario, she's staying very far from her parents and immediate family. Because of her busy schedule, she's not able to spend much time at all. And that's because she doesn't have proper planning. She's busy, but she doesn't have proper planning, because of which she's spending time irregularly with her parents. On and off they speak. But she can have a clear-cut goal that every weekday, maybe on a Saturday, I will spend a good half an hour, 30 minutes, be specific, good 30 minutes, spending time over a video call with my parents, where I get to speak to them and my sister and have quality time with them. I'm exaggerating it so much, my friends, because you have to come down to the detailing, the exact basics in terms of timings. Saturday, 30 minutes. You have to write exactly that in detail. And my motive is to have quality time with them, to ensure that relationship, of course, it's going to be there, but I want to make it healthier and happier for everybody during these tough times. And then the hurdle. What is the hurdle? Maybe it's possible that your sister is a busy doctor and she's not able to catch up with you on a Saturday, just an example. So you have to find out an alternative in that case. If she says Saturday doesn't work out, maybe think of some other day where you feel all the 4 of you can meet up. So you have to consider the hurdle, write down that hurdle, and then see how you can change your action steps accordingly. So this is a beautiful template that can help you in terms of all these 7 aspects that I told you about. And of late, I'm sure all of you are inspired by Mr. Branson, who happened to get into this own spaceship to get into space. And I hope all of you saw that joyful video. I would definitely want to wind up by showing that as well, to tell you that dream big, set those goals, be them and achieving them. There is no limit to what you can achieve. Let me just play that for you.
To all you kids down there, I was once a child with a dream, looking up to the stars. To the next generation of dreamers, if we can do this, just imagine what you can do. Hey!
So did you see that? Age doesn't matter. He's so enthusiastic with his good team who is, having a great time there. And was it just imaginable? We have gone beyond the human potential, right? Did we ever imagine that we could go in our own spaceships? Because he had this dream, he says, so many years back, and he's motivating the kids that if I can do this, the people in your generation can achieve so much more, right? It's beyond the human potential. It seems like that, but it's definitely possible. All right. So yes, I would summarize by saying that I want you to trust this process of goal setting. Just try it out. Give it a shot. Use your own template, start journaling, write your goals, look at them, read them daily, very important. Read them as often as you can, as much as you can, with as much intensity as you can, and believe that you have already achieved them. Don't think that I will do that, I will do that. No, it's not about the future. Start believing that you've already achieved them. All right? So there's a beautiful quote from the Mount of the Sermon which says, ask and it shall be given. Seek and you shall find it. Knock and it shall be opened to you. this will work out wonderfully for each and every one of us here on this call. Thank you so much, my friends. Please get in touch with me if you want more information. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rita ma'am, for such an energetic session. And I must say, we all have learned so much from your session. Very well said about roles, goals, and hurdles, because this is something which we really face in each and everyday life. Thank you so much for the wonderful session. Ma'am, as we have discussed, we have some questions with us. So, with your permission, we ask you the same questions like the questions we have.
Sure. Yes, please. Yeah.
Yes, so let's move forward with the questionnaire part, ma'am. We have a very interesting questions with us. So let me ask you the first question. When we have a certain amount of experience and age, we have to compete with the younger generation, no matter even if we start creating and focusing on the goals. Still, there will be difficulty catching up to speed with the youngsters and their learning speed. How to deal with this, ma'am?
I'm hoping that there are many middle-aged folks here in this platform who might relate to this question, including me for sure. And this I understand and agree that it's a major pain point that those who are from a little older face in terms of the competition with the younger folks. Let me take the example of teaching and training itself as a profession. I'm sure in the past 2 years, everything has become so digital, so highly technology bound, that our level of confidence might not be as much as the youngsters who pick up on all these things so easily, right? That's exactly why I said it's a rat race. But let me also remind you, my friends, that again, as Mr. Brussel said, age is just a number. If he could achieve it at the age of 70, right? So please remember my point, which I said, that there is no limit to the potential that we can achieve. And the very fact that we are limiting ourselves by saying, I belong to so-and-so age, and hence I'm afraid to compete, itself is a stumbling block. That's a hurdle. That's a hurdle that we have. We are limiting ourselves that I belong to an older generation where I'm not able to learn so much. That is a hurdle. So my request as a takeaway from today will be, let our age or gender or race or whatever not limit us from thinking that we cannot achieve or compete. But yes, healthy competition there, because I keep repeating that it's just competition, competing with yourself. But think of the strengths that you have because of your age. It could be your experience, the life experience that you got over so many years of working for 20 years. Definitely they cannot match up to that, right? There are areas where you can guide them with your experience. You may be a better communicator because you again have so much of practice with respect to your experience, right? So leverage the strengths that you have. Leverage the strengths that you have, but never ever say that we will not be able to learn those things and be afraid of the competition, because age doesn't matter. That's what I would say. It holds good for this as well.
Yes, very well said, ma'am. Thank you so much for the excellent explanation. Let's move forward for the next question. The next question is, can you give an example of a spiritual goal? If I am not much into this, what are the aspects I can cover under this heading?
Yeah, this probably relates well to me, definitely, because see, people do definitely get carried away in terms of the meaning the moment we say spiritual goals. For some, it sounds great because people who are into meditation and spirituality, for them, it's like the ultimate. That is my biggest purpose. I need to achieve that. But some, sorry to say, some may feel bored because they are not much into spirituality, especially let's take the case of the younger folks, for example. But here, spiritual goals doesn't necessarily mean just meditation or just doing something for your inner peace. It could be anything as intense as journaling. What I mean by journaling is, it is a beautiful way of documenting and pouring out your thoughts in writing. Maybe diary writing, a little similar to diary writing, where you pour out your thoughts. You pour out whatever is happening in your life in terms of the action steps that you're taking. Even that is a form. So I would say it's just connecting with your best self. So when you say spirituality, it is connecting with your finest, purest self. And something as simple as doing a self-analysis about yourself. What is it that I'm not doing well in my life? What is it that I can correct myself to be of better service to the people around me? So if the whole study of self-analysis to understand yourself better is the biggest spiritual goal according to me. So it's just connecting with your highest self. So please do not mistake that it's just pure meditation or any such aspects. It is just about understanding yourself better. So I also mentioned self-improvement goals. Yes, it's about self-improvement. Yep.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for the wonderful explanation. Let's move forward with the next question. Ma'am, there is a question like I have a long term goal to create a school in my town for the underprivileged poor children. But in the current situation where I am positioned at work and financially, it still seems a long way. How to make sure to achieve the goal faster?
Now, the goal, whatever is mentioned, is very big, honestly. It is very big. We cannot deny by saying that, chalo, it's very easy, we can achieve it fast. No, whatever example you've given here is so big that it's a long term goal. We cannot even say that it is achievable. It definitely depends on your financial constraints, whoever has mentioned right now. It depends on your position and designation in your company, because obviously that decides what is your state right now, what is your family situation considering our current difficult times. So there's a lot of things that are actually interlinked and interlinked, which may be hurdles sometimes. And it could take as long as 8 years. It could be, depending on the current situation, you're not equipped enough to be able to achieve it immediately. But what you can do is, are you at least sure that that is your goal? Let's be clear on that. Are you sure that I don't want to deviate from that? I definitely want to make sure that the children, the underprivileged children in my town, have a school where they can go without, especially in these times. If you're sure that it is the right goal, start working towards that in terms of what is the immediate task you can do in the next 6 months that will kickstart the journey towards that. So I'm not telling that the journey is going to be easy. Ever. You will get, in order to achieve this particular example that you give, there will be several obstacles on the way in terms of the finances, in terms of who are the right people who can help you achieve this goal. But maybe you can start talking to the NGOs. Maybe you can talk to people who are in the knowledge business, academic business, to be able to get more connections, to express your views to them. Are you beginning to do that when you get time in the weekends? So start thinking short term for this. In the next 6 months, what are the specific steps towards building the school that I can do that will help me achieve it long term? So yes, I would say you will have to literally write down those steps. Start writing the action points tomorrow. What are the exact steps that I'm going to do? And the beauty is that once you start doing that, you will be surprised to see the number of connections in the same direction that will come to help you achieve those goals. Like what you say, that the universe conspires. Start doing those steps in the next 2 months. Surely you will see a lot of network connections coming to you, helping you to do that effortlessly, honestly. They'll help you to do that. You will find the right people who will help you towards those goals. So that's my answer. Difficult one, but achievable, attainable, for sure.
So let's move forward for the next question, ma'am. I think we have this. This is the last question we have. The question is, I have often tried the goal setting process, started writing them since I have attended this topic session earlier, but left it halfway. Though, how can I make sure to complete it? I think, and this is my question too. We all do the same thing. So, yeah, I would love to hear from you, ma'am.
Yes. So as I said, maybe one thing that can help is I've heard and read about something called the 2-minute habits. I don't know, Manisha, if you've heard that. There's something called the 2-minute habit. If you're a person who's majorly into fitness and exercising, right? But maybe you're a little lethargic, just taking a hypothetical example, don't mind. Maybe because of the COVID scenario and the current condition, you're feeling lazy to just start towards that direction because you know that you love fitness. But then, because of the circumstances of being at home for a long time, you really are not able to drive yourself. Try the 2-minute rule. The 2-minute rule just says you don't have to walk or do those hardcore strength exercises at all in the next 30 days. But can you keep your sports shoe ready tomorrow? Just keep your sports shoe ready. That's enough for tomorrow morning. All right. But day after, maybe you'll have those sports shoe ready, but you will also pull yourself and pep yourself up to go for that walk to the park below. Maybe not now because of safety reasons, but when you start going out in your apartment, at least I will have a quick round in the park. I enjoy that at least. If not exercises, maybe I'll go for a quick round in the park. And that is good enough. So this is what I call the 2 minute rule. It helps in making drastic changes. Every day you work on 2 minutes of improvement, and as I said, then extend it to a 30-day challenge. Keep doing these small 2 minute baby rules and see whether it has become a habit for you at least in the next 30 days. So I humbly urge all of you to try this 30-minute challenge. Try and see if it helped you form that habit, positive habit in the direction of your goal. If not, Manisha, if not, we will not give up. You will fail, you will, but now you have your goal card. You're going to write down your goals. You promised yourself that you're going to
For
achieve
sure.
it. Keep reading it, keep telling yourself. You will be committed and forced to get back. Take a break. Again, you might, it's human, but again, this will not allow you to sleep well. You will once again try the 30-day challenge. Fail, get up. Fail, get up. Try it for another 30 days. I'm sure 66 days may be good enough for you to make it slowly a part of your life. That's what I would say to start off with.
With a with a very simple example for the shoes, like you have said a lot, ma'am. Thank you so much for the wonderful sharing, ma'am. Learned a lot from your session, and I also got the answer. Thank you so much. I'm going to write my goal today only,
Please do.
and I
I would love to hear from all of you, whoever's. I'm sure many of you have heard sessions and started in that direction, but don't give up on this exercise, my friends, because it's a brilliant, time tested way that we will achieve whatever dreams, no matter how limitless they are, we will achieve them. Please get back to me with those once you're done. Thank
sure,
you.
ma'am. Thank you so much. And I think thank is a very small word for the kind of session experience you have shared with us today, ma'am. Honestly speaking, I'm speechless for the same and will definitely look forward for more from your side, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Sure.
And I
My
would like
pleasure meeting all of you too, Manisha. It's always lovely to see your smiling face, and thank you so much to the wonderful audience. I hope I've been able to answer your questions to your understanding. If not, please do personally connect with me. Thank you.
yes, ma'am, and I would like to thank and would like to give heartiest thanks to Miss Rita Gopal Krishna for sharing her valuable thoughts on communication skills and personality development. At As Team Edukos is emphasized towards quality serve delivery, we are highly obliged to have such people like you. So, accept our sincere gratitude towards the highly appreciable power talk you have given back to the community of Edukos Unite of Scholar team. So, thanks a lot, ma'am. We will simply look forward for more from your end, backed by distinguished line for the same fee. So that's all from my end. Signing off for today with again a new note. Stay safe, stay happy, and be curious throughout the journey of learning, as learning is endless. Thank you everyone for joining us and making every effort of Edukos a grand success. Lots of love to the entire community of Edukos. Thank you so much. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you
ma'am.
so much. Bye bye.